Okay, all right, Eli, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
Good evening and salutations, our soap opera fans. I am once again joined by the amazing, talented DC Soap Sanctuary, and we're going to be sitting there answering a question, which is not up here for some odd reason because I'm using my phone. But I think it's something along the lines of, can Molly and TJ save their relationship? Part two with DC Soap Sanctuary. So,
Can they say the
what are
relationship
your
is the
thoughts?
question? I
Yes.
think so. I think that they're actually two very well balanced people. So sorry, I'm still fidgeting my light here. I'm still pissed this thing not work out, bro. Okay. I think that they can make it work because I think that they are two people who want to be able to make it work. I feel like they have the capacity to. And I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for this couple. I feel like they're a really good couple, honestly. I feel like it. I feel like they love each other. I feel like they want genuine things. I don't like that Molly is looking to have this tryst with Dex. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not happy about that. Um, but I think they can work it out. TJ is a good man. He's a good man. I love these two together. They warm my heart.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's interesting. I think that they can work it out. And what's good, chat? How's everyone doing? Queen, Cherry Ice Cream, Blackmon, and Janetta, Gemini, and anyone who haven't said hi to Dolomedics. Dolomedics, I did shout you out though. I don't know if you got that. I did shout out Dolomedics. So just before I get to that question, I did start a new type of review style. So
I
instead of
saw.
reviewing, yeah, exactly. So I just do two and one. I'm gonna sit there and see how that worked for a while. But I did,
Mhm.
I did kind of throw Dolmex under the bus. I'm sorry, I did in a sense because I was like, I'm gonna sit there and give credit to Dolomedics or blame Dolomedics if this does or if this does not work out. But I like it so far though. I do like it so far.
Is that who
Um,
you got the advice from? Was Dolly?
yeah, which is actually solid advice. So I'm like, there's a whole method to the madness. I'll tell you
And
afterwards.
you get
But
double the viewers. Come on now, you gotta get them. Hope you get the
that's what
views up. Get
that's
the
what I
views.
said. Was good, Ron? Yes, that's another thing I was not there thinking of. I told a little bit. I don't know. I'll tell you afterwards. But the point is, there's a lot of positives to it. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So I like it so far. I just hope that it pans out. But
It saves you
was good,
time too,
chat.
I'm sure.
It does save time. It saves time. More viewers, and just I don't know, just easier in a sense.
Yeah.
It's easier, but it can also be more trickier though, because it's like in a sense, you take a pause, you take a break, and then you watch next one and you do that review. So it's like trying to make sure you get almost everything in there
Hmm.
in a sense, and making sure you don't leave out things that are
Anything.
super important. So like that's kind of a little bit of the downside. Like if I miss something that's super major, it's like, and maybe it's just the perfectionist in me, but I like it so far. It's only been the second day, so we'll see. Oh, you read that too? You can actually read the chat too, right?
Yeah, because it's no longer
Okay.
I'm part of the general population. I lost my shares. The last enterprises.
Okay.
I think this is actually going to be a good format for you. I mean, it's going to save you time. When I saw, I was like, oh, look what Alvar's doing. Okay, look at him. And you didn't have a spoiler. That's why I checked out. You have a spoiler. I was like, good God, that was a spoiler. But I'm sure you will soon. I'm sure you have those spoiling thumbnails soon. You know, those damn
I'm I'm
thumbnails.
I'm I'm trying not to. Okay, actually, I'm not gonna even try
Yeah,
not
you
to.
are gonna
I
try. You are
don't
gonna try to. You need the you
know.
need you need you need you need the, you need the folks coming in. You're going to. You are going
Yes,
to. It's only a matter of time.
but yeah, but I mean, it's also. I mean, I like taking advice from the chat and to try to improve the channel because like one of the things that I was also inspired by on Sunday, which we're not gonna really get into that, but
Okay,
see,
right, right.
Dolmex right there, yeah. Is that I want people to be part of the channel, part of the success of the channel. They're not just watching videos; they're actually part of the channel in a sense. So that's what I really like about trying this idea.
And I love
But
being here today,
anyway,
part of the general population. I love the numbers, but like this is like the surge, just like coming in.
but you know, there's certain things we can kind of get into the members
Yeah,
that we can't
The
Anyway,
paywall of it all.
yes. But I think that they can work. My issue with TJ, and hopefully he does kind of stop, is this level of managing Molly, her feelings, her grief, the way how she grieves. I'm not a fan of that,
He's
you
trying to
know.
show up
And
for his
I
wife. What do you mean managing her feelings?
managing her feelings, like I said, I'm not a fan of that. Listen, everyone grieves in their own way. And I'm not sitting there necessarily saying that Molly is grieving the right way, but like, you know,
We all can't be stoic
let
like you,
her.
Albert. Come on now.
You should answer Francis's question.
Albert and DC, what do you think will happen with what Sharon did? Do you think Sharon will hurt Heather? From what I saw today, she thought she hurt Daniel, but she didn't, right? Because wasn't he eating with his mom at the at society?
Yeah.
So she hallucinated it.
Um.
Okay, that means I'm current. Good. That means I'm current. Okay, that means I'm current.
You watched today's episode?
I got Paramount
Yeah.
Plus. I got it like the free trial, and then what happens when I went to cancel it? They gave me another 3 months free, and I was like, okay, what's up? What y'all want to do?
Wow.
I just keep
They
coming
was
back with a
like,
new
hey,
email each time.
don't know if you actually said that, but I do like the fact that they were like, hey, listen, we got them. Let's just kind of sweeten the deal a little bit. Um, props on Paramount Plus. Props on them.
They won't get me though. There's a dummy card on the file, so they won't get me though.
Well, like some of that stuff should be behind a paywall, but I am glad that you are caught up. See, my whole thing is like, okay, so what do you think of? Yeah, God damn it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the way that he is
He's
managing
molaging.
her feelings. Yes, molaging,
That's
absolutely.
a Boss Enterprises
Molaging,
word, molaging.
exactly. Molaging her feelings, yes. I'm not a fan of it. Like, I get that he wants to lean on his wife and everything, but you have to understand that she's grieving too.
Right.
And maybe like Stella said, maybe give her some time, you know? Like she's not the only person you could sit there and lean on as far as your grief.
You know,
So
the thing is though, I just feel like I'm happy showing up for Molly because I feel like everyone feels like, oh, Molly's a strong one, she can handle it. Sunny's telling her that, her mom's telling her that, and it's like I like that TJ is trying to like I'm not even gonna say push for the emotions because I feel like nobody else is doing that with Molly. And I feel like at least her husband is at least doing that. And I appreciate that from TJ because honestly, I feel like sometimes you're always a strong one. People think you can handle anything. You just put on the smile or you're strong or you're this and like you can break down too. And the thing is like people stop giving you the support that you need. And when you're constantly not getting your support you need at every single adversity, then you will kind of chip down. And I feel Molly on that because I feel like it's like that for me in my own life where I'm always like the strong one. I feel like you got this, but it's like I'm a person too. So hashtag Team Molly. And I like that TJ is pushing because if I was married to someone, I would want him to keep pushing for my emotions, especially if he knows I feel like I have to be strong. I would want that. And I feel like he wants him and his wife to lean on each other. What's wrong with that?
well, first of all, thank you, Black Mind. Molaging, I like that. And Ron, you can sit there and ask them. You can ask DC yourself. He can actually see the chat as well. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but like she's clearly not in a space to do that. So instead of constantly sitting there trying to lean on her and knowing that she's going through her own grief, maybe you could sit there and respect that and give her time.
What do you mean by
There's
lean
nothing
on
wrong.
her? What do you mean when you say lean on her? Like he's trying to go for her to like help with his grief?
Yes,
That's his
to go through
wife.
the
They
grief
lost a
together.
child.
Yeah, but she's not in a place where she can sit there and have him lean on her.
Okay, all right, all right. But if
So
not
like
her,
that's
then who's he gonna lean on? Another woman? That can happen
his
too.
family. Yeah, or his family,
Or another woman.
or another man. Yeah. So it's just
I mean, I
all
think here's the
right.
thing. I feel like here's the thing because I actually posted a video today. I know guys posted a video for the first time. Woo! I posted a video today, and someone commented and said no one has asked about TJ's feelings in this whole thing. And I was like, yeah, because we've only been given Molly's point of view, but not about TJ. But then again, TJ was at Club Savoy dancing with Curtis and was like, hey, uncle, what's going on? But once again, TJ and Molly are both usually the strong people, the strong persons, right? And I feel like he's just trying to turn to his wife, and I'm proud of him for doing that. He should be turning to his wife, or would you rather him turn to another woman? I think Albert wants him to turn to another woman, guys. You heard it here first. It's clear this is what Albert's intentions are. Kind of man Albert is, guys. Jeez.
So I said all that, and that was his takeaway. Just notice that. And thank you, Queen Janet. Thank you. I
Hey, Janet.
appreciate you always. Um,
You want him to turn to another woman because what's wrong with her? Okay, I get that she's not in the place, so at some point he's got to back off. But initially, his first instinct should be to turn to his wife. He's got his family, but his family they lost a member of the Asher family, but him and Molly lost a child. There's a different there's a different grief. I mean, Jordan is over here trying to see what's up with Isaiah in the hospital, taking him on dates, going on a date with what's his name, Griggs. Stephen A. Smith. I'm calling him Steve A. Smith.
oh
They're
yes,
going
yes, yes.
with Steve A. Smith, and then Portia's out here switching tests. Curtis is just enjoying life. They're not worried about it like that, and it's sad that they care, but it's not their immediate grief. And the immediate grief is with him and Molly. And I feel like a lot of couples they will have those moments where stuff like this happen. They should turn to each other. And Molly is talking about she doesn't have no support, but she's got it right there from her husband. He's trying to get that support. Even Rick is like, "Hey, TJ, she needs that," and that's what he's giving her. And she shouldn't. It's hard for her, but you don't want to push your partner away and stuff in moments like this. This is what makes them turn to the arm of somebody else, and all of a sudden people won't get mad. Just saying.
DC is standing on business with that statement, and I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying that you're entirely wrong. I get the idea of turning to your spouse for support. When you see that your spouse is not there, instead of
Yeah.
constantly getting upset and sitting there saying things like, I'm resenting her and everything like that, how about you sit there and respect the fact that she's going through it and she's dealing with it in her way? It may not be the best way. No one's not there saying that, but you got to sit there and give her some grace, though. You know?
Let me
Like, I
ask you this:
feel like,
if you were in their shoes, how would you? How do you feel if you were in those shoes? Either one of them, you can pick which one you want to be. How do you feel like you would handle it? I mean, you don't know for sure, but how do you think you would, based on who you are?
uh, I mean, I think how I am, I'll be honest, I would be like TJ and would sit there and try to be there to support her, but I would also understand that, hey, you know what, listen, I could be doing too much right now. And she may not be in a place where she's ready to give me the support that I need. And me just constantly keep doing, I think I would back off. I think I would back. I wouldn't back off, but I would sit there and just be like, "Hey, listen, I'm here for you. I'll try, but like, you can't push too much." And I feel like that's what he's doing. And then he keeps
But
to talk about, well, she's not handling it right, and it's like, she's not you. She's not going to handle it right.
I just think what he's afraid of is that because he mentioned to Curtis is like I've already lost Adela. I can't call her Irene. It's just too weird of a name. I don't like it. He lost already Adela, and it's like he doesn't want to lose his wife too. Because the thing is, I get you want to give the person space, but you feel like if there's too much time, you're gonna lose them. Like I remember when I was in a relationship during the pandemic, and we took space, and I was always like hounding and hounding. I was a bit of a hounder, so I guess I was a TJ. I was a little bit of a hounder because I'm like, if we take too much space, I know what that's gonna cause. Now we're together as of today. No, we are not, right? So I think that TJ's like, if we take too much space during a time like this, what that could mean for us. I already lost my child. I don't want to feel like now I'm losing my wife too. And I think that's where that's coming from for him. That's why I feel for the man. That's where it's coming from. He already had one loss, and him and Miles' relationship is going to change after this. Stuff is like it can change for the better or the worse, but this distance is making me feel like there's another loss because you're has a distance from his daughter. There's already distance there, at least physically. There's a distance now. She's gone, and now he's gonna lose his wife. Not his wife. He's gonna lose his wife. So it's like I feel for him on that. He doesn't want to lose her, but he's pushing so hard and he's struggling. And TJ even hasn't had a sense to really be there for himself because he's got to be there for Molly. And then even that time with Christina. So it's like I feel him on that. I've been in those situation relationships where it's like when we've gone through not to that tragedy, but we've gone through an adversity, and I'm like, I I could feel them drifting off. I'm like, hey, let's lean on each other. Let's keep this closeness together because I know like this can make or break us. And I think that's what's happening with him. Thank you,
Thank you,
Princess.
Lord B. And thank you, Blackmon. I appreciate you. That's why I always appreciate having you in the chat and having you part of the team. So thank you. And what's good, Queen Becky D? Um, did you see General Hospital today or no?
I No, I didn't. They didn't post on Hulu yet. They will in 30 minutes.
And of course, let's say what's up to Nathaniel Gray, aka
Nathaniel
Mason.
Gray, how art thou?
How you doing? Hope all is well. Hope you're starting to feel a little bit better.
Nathaniel, can I ask Nathaniel a question since we're here?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Nathaniel, we're talking about GH, and the gist of the storyline we're talking about is when couples are dealing with the loss. And okay, so the storyline, we'll tell you real quick. So TJ and Molly lost their baby, and TJ is pushing hard to want to be with Molly, and Molly needs her space, right? Because they lost their baby. Now, I want to know if you were in that situation, Nathaniel, how would you handle it? Would you still keep going to your woman, even though, because wanting to build you guys together, or would you just give each other space and distance? How do you think you would handle such a thing? Because I feel like I understand that when people have losses or adversity in relationships, you want to feel closer to the person. You don't want that distance to take you away. I'm curious to know what is your take. Go ahead, Albert.
But you said you didn't watch it today, right?
No, let's talk about it. I'm already here. You might as well talk about it. Yes, in real life. In real life.
Yeah, you can
Go ahead.
either
What is it?
answer in the chat or no, I was gonna sit there and say Nathan, you can either answer in the chat or you can, I can sit there and shoot you an invite so you can come in and just answer it in the stream. So whatever is easier for you.
What are you gonna say about today?
Um, I just want to know, how do you feel about Sunny just kind of sitting back and just letting Alexis go to jail for a crime that she didn't commit, while just kind of sitting there saying, "Oh well, everything's gonna be better, Christina," and this, that, and the third. It's like, bro, you are literally allowing the mother of your daughter to go to jail for a crime that you committed. And I feel like maybe if this was like years ago, I wouldn't have. Well, I would have probably just made excuses for Sonny. But now it's like I can't
Mm-hmm.
do that. So how do you feel about that?
Sunny is a whole trash bag and not a Glad trash bag or Febreze one. It's the whole trash bag for this one. Straight basura. Because Sunny, there was a point that Sunny made. Well, it wasn't Sunny. It was Carly and Jocelyn talking. You want to read that comment or let me see?
No, you can read
Oh,
because it
okay. He says
was
that's tough. I
yeah.
would try to be with her for support. But okay, Nathaniel, the question is, what does being with her look like exactly? What does that mean? Are you just in the room silent in the corner? What does that mean exactly being with her? What does that mean? Okay, but Carly and Jocelyn have a conversation where Jocelyn was kind of like, um, so would Sonny ever do like you will go above and beyond for Sonny? Would he ever do that for you? And Sonny would not. He's a whole trash bag, right? And it's it, at least he got Alexis a lawyer, though. He did get her a lawyer, low key. He did get her a lawyer because I think he feels like if he goes to jail, like you know, John Case would have won. And also, the town is not safe without Sonny. It's not safe. It's not safe with Sonny. Nathaniel says no. It's like checking in, and so on. She can have her space, but I would not be far away. Okay, is that what your approach, Albert?
Yeah, pretty much. That's literally what I said. Even though DC kept taking my comment out of context, that's literally what I said.
I
Just
still
wanna
like Albert wants TJ to fall into the arms of another woman, but I mean, I get what you just coming from because I mean, I know what it's like to feel scared to lose your partner, and Molly doesn't do well with emotions. I think TJ has a better grasp on that, but Molly does not. And I think that because Molly has never expressed emotions, people have never felt the need to cater to her emotions because they haven't seen it from her. That's the thing too. So when people always feel like they're always a strong one, the thing is that thing like I would say this is people also have to take responsibility. They have created even unconsciously this persona that have made people say, okay, you got it together. When you have to start expressing what you need. When you don't ask for what you need, the need just gets bigger. And Molly has never done that. So all this is right now is just a cumulative manifestation of all the different times she never asked for what she needs. And that's why now she's blowing gasket. But sis, you've had multiple times to do such a thing. and she's never done that. Even when she cheated on TJ with Brando, she never addressed to TJ, "Hey, I need you." She went and had an affair instead. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I will hold her responsible for that too. And TJ is trying to say, "Hey, you can express your needs with me. I am here. I am here for you," and that's why I understand that.
Gorgeous Queen Jess, how you doing tonight?
The real CEO,
Yes, the Diane Jenkins in the chat.
Zion
Um,
Jenkins.
yes. What do you think about this whole, Jason and this whole Concito thing, with Anna and Lucky and Holly and stuff like that? What do you think about this so far?
I talked about this on my review. Um, it's weird. Jason does not care about Lucky. He does not care about that man. If this was Robin, it would have made more sense. But like Jason doesn't care about Lulu or Lucky.
When you say
And
he doesn't care, what do you mean by that? Like, you mean like he's not going to lose any sleep if Lucky dies? He's not going to be like, oh man, because I'm pretty sure that's going to affect him in a sense.
Jason
Um,
wouldn't lose sleep if his own kids died. Yeah, I went there.
wow. Just
I
remember,
went there.
DC said that.
I went there. You want to read that? Or you want me to read it?
Oh damn, you read it.
Here in Pentonville Prison, we have been doing a workshop on emotional support. Seems everyone Port Charles has family members who have done horrible things, so we all needed therapy. Hmm.
And just
You know,
exactly, why would Jason care?
yeah, he didn't care about his own kids. So it's like, I don't get why he's going on a limb. And I understand, like, I guess it's giving something to do for Carly. Carly's at the center of the storyline, which bothers me. But because she's a Spencer, I almost have to digest it. It's like when you eat too big of a piece of a chicken and you know you should have chewed a little, you should have gotten a smaller piece. It's like that. It's like I have to digest it. It's stuck in my throat. I have to digest it because she is a Spencer. This is the one time she's actually allowed to be front and center of the storyline. But because it's happened so many times, it's like, bruh, you know what I mean? So I have to swallow this. But Tracy should be at the helm of the storyline, not Carly. And I think that's why Jason and Anna are at this casino. I don't care about Holly. I don't care if she gets shot in the casino. I don't care about Jason. If he gets shot, hey, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. That's how it is in this life. Um, I'm not invested in Lucky. They're, and I said this in one of the members chat with you. They're trying to paint Lucky as this person like this, so beloved by the town. I don't know why everybody is jumping on his microphone all of a sudden. I don't understand it. They're really singing to that microphone, and I don't know what that microphone has done for them. So to me, I don't get it personally.
What's good, Lakeisha? What's good, Tracy Steves? Um,
I mean,
I don't know. I
what,
like it.
what do you
So
feel?
I like it. I mean,
Because it's Jason.
it's Jason.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Because Jason. And you know what? I'm not. Yes, exactly. Because of Jason. But also, I just want to sit there and just say to the chat, because even though I said it to DC, it's like it went in one ear, not the other. Um, the reason why Carly is more in the story than Laura is because the actress that's playing Laura is on vacation right now. Okay, the actress that's playing Laura is on vacation right now, so this is the reason why they kind of need to keep it going. Now, I do agree with DC as far as maybe Tracy should sit there and also be in the story. I will sit there and say that, but there's a reason why Laura's not there, and it's because the actress is on vacation. So this is not just, oh, they're just throwing Carly in people's faces. It's like, no, there's actually a backstory and a reason for that.
But my thing is, they couldn't have
Um,
scheduled a storyline when she was on vacation. Jean Prince takes 10,000 vacations a year. And I think the staff knows when she's going to take it. They couldn't have scheduled a storyline at a different time. I mean, if anything, Tracy should have been more at the
I,
helm.
I
Oh, go
feel
ahead.
like
Go
you're
ahead.
reaching, but I feel like you're reaching at this point.
How am I
Uh,
reaching? How am I reaching? How am I
I, I,
reaching? Oh,
I,
what? Oh, what?
I,
Oh, what?
let me answer this question first. Good to see Kelly back. Yeah, that Carly would retract the story about. Yeah, that was stupid of her to sit there and think that Carly was going to do the right thing. No, but it should be good tomorrow, though. Oh, hi, Dad.
I told you guys, Albert is an Adam Newman because he's a junior.
Let's everyone say what's up to my dad, um, my father. I mean, I get that you don't like. I mean, yeah, they could have did this. They could have scheduled it around or whatever. But like, I
Yeah.
feel like that's kind of a stretch at this point, though. Like the way the story is just the way the story is, and it's
Mhm.
just unfortunate. But like, there's a reason why they're putting Carly more up here, and it's because of Jeannie Francis being on vacation.
But it seems like with Tracy, they're trying to do this. I'm getting these May December vibes with Tracy and Cody, and I want to know how you feel about that. Hello, Albert's dad. Now, why didn't you teach him? I feel like you need a spokesperson deal at this point for that company because you've been sponsoring them literally for literally you've been doing commercial them for the past 2 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. I should look into that. I'm not joking. I'm kind of serious about that. But
So how do you feel about Tracy and Cody though as a potential?
see, I would find that be much more soapy if they actually went that route instead of the route of, oh, Tracy just doesn't want to lose another person, another friend, and stuff like that. He marches to his own drum. You're absolutely right. Dad. You're absolutely right. I was about to curse for a hot minute, but you're absolutely right. Um, I think it would have been so much more soapy. I felt like they might have actually I feel like they might have actually done that, like maybe if it was like the early '90s.
Hmm.
Seriously, if it was the early '90s, maybe 2000s, they would have did that. But like,
But why not now? Do you think?
I don't know. Maybe how people would sit there and react or whatever. I don't know.
But isn't
There's
the
so
whole
many.
point of
There's so many.
soap? Don't we need the shock?
Yeah, but then we got that with Natalia, and people was like, "Oh my god!" Ah! It's like, no, that's how some people are in real life. Like, let's not sit there and try to act like this is not anything new. The same thing with the threesome on Days of Our Lives. It was like, it was this shock value, and it's like that's what really happens in real life. But people was like, this went too far. I'm like,
That's the whole point of a
it
soap.
didn't. But that's the thing, though. It didn't go too far. Well, one up happened. It was two women that did it, and that's why it went too far.
I think the
But I
part
do
went
agree
too
with
far
that,
if it was
though.
two men that did it. I think that would have been too far. People would have said more too far that aspect. But I will say this though is I feel that they should go there with Cody and Tracy. I want them. I I I, I want soaps at times to go the guiding light route with these storylines. Don't be afraid. That's just how you would drive story, right? And the guiding light route for those of you guys who don't know in guiding light was when we had the kissing cousins, Jonathan and Taylor in guiding light, and that it was a powerful story. So Albert, you need to go watch it. I'm just saying some links. It was a powerful story. It was a powerful storyline. He's not gonna say like I'm not watching that crap, but it was a powerful storyline. Because let me tell you something. On soaps, we need to see an adversity with the characters. This is how we fall in love. This is why even on GH with the baby dying, it was beautifully done. And I'm like, DC, how can you say that? But here's the thing: think about what this drove. We it took us 6 months or so to really care about this baby, and now this baby is gone. My heartstrings were pulled at because the custody battle would have been too typical. That would have been too typical. This is more meteor. This made me care about Christina because I wasn't checking for her like that. I didn't care about Blaze. I didn't care about none of this. Now I care because the baby has died. And I'm watching these two grapple with their grief about how they feel about losing their child. Right. And it made me think and reflect. I was watching. So that's what I want to feel from soaps again. Right. So I talked about this on your members, but like even with Melinda being held hostage on days, I wanted to see her have a monologue with like, I miss my daughter. My daughter Haley, I wasn't the greatest mother. I wanted to see a monologue from her. I miss that. I miss that. Sean says DC Soap Sanctuary. I hope they aren't planning on reuniting Sasha and Michael. I prefer Lucky and Sasha in that. I don't prefer anything Sasha. I'm okay if she never came back on the show.
Damn. Okay, we're going.
But see,
Nathaniel says, "I
Nathaniel,
knew that bait was gonna die 7 months ago."
but Nathaniel, isn't that a good story? Wasn't that better than them doing a custody thing? I mean, he could tell since he's on the set. But I think that was genius. And I feel like I care now more. Like GH has been great since they did this. The John Cates thing is kind of cool, whatever. It's Sonny's shooting people every other. Well, it has been every other week since about Booza, the about Booze days. It's been every couple of years. But it was wasn't a good story. Oh, see, okay, Nathaniel says it was a good choice. Good, good. Somebody says it was a good choice. That's good. That's good. He says it was a good choice. I mean, do you think it was a good choice, Albert?
No. I think it would have been much more better. One, I would have liked the story of the custody battle. I would have liked the story of Molly and Rick actually working together to sit there and try to fight this custody thing. And then, then there's the other thing too, right? And I'm not going to sit there and harp on this too much because I don't want this turning sideways, but we both know I'm about to go, right? We both know I'm about to go, right?
Oh well, I get what everybody feels about that because the baby should have been alive because it was the first time we would have this kind of a baby. I know what you're saying, but I think this was a better choice because I think one, you don't do emotions, so this is why some of these things are probably lost on you. You don't do emotions. Albert Jr. does not do emotions. Your son doesn't do emotions, but I would say that honestly, though, I think this was a better route because when Christina fell out that window and then she was in the hospital, tell me you didn't feel something pull your heartstrings, Albert.
I mean, I did, but
Mm.
it just see my issue is it's soaps don't usually generally pull my heartstrings. They really don't. Now, if I'm watching something like This Is Us, that's a little bit different. But if you watch and you understand, if for people in the chat that watched it, they know what I'm talking about.
It's giving
Um,
DID when I watch cable television. That's what it's giving. Go ahead.
but like just in general, it's like I said, I can't get that part. That just comes across as out of pocket of them doing that.
But the thing is,
Like,
like, soaps have to be out of pocket. We don't grow as. See, this is the thing. Viewers want good storyline, but then they don't want writers to get out of pocket. Right, Guy was out of pocket with Jonathan and Tammy, cousins getting together. But guess what? It caught our attention when they got out of pocket with it. You have to get out of pocket. There was a scene on Days of Our Lives where, okay, let me not say that. But yeah, soaps have to get out of pocket, right?
we will sit there. Is this like members? Is this like members approved only comment?
I mean, it's not members. It's just
Okay, it's not members, and
okay.
it's
I
clearly
guess
too
I could
much.
say it. There was a scene. I'm gonna say it. There was a scene on Days of Our Lives where Lucas slapped Sammy. It was a straight out slap, right? And I remember watching that. I was like, "Did you just do that? Like, wait, did you just do that?" And but it captured your attention as a viewer. And I don't know. He didn't do it violently. He did it for some other reason. I think he thought she was delirious or something, and the cops walked in at that exact moment. Was it a good look for him? but exactly when there was soaps or shows about toxic people doing toxic things. Well, not always toxic, but I want to say people who are developing themselves and they're going through a process and a journey. And this is what we need to see. We definitely need. I want to see things out of pocket, like when Jack threw the chair out the window twice. First with Victor and then with Ashley. I want to see these moments where, or there was a time in Y&R where we thought Devon was gonna be attracted to Lily, and it was giving this weird stuff going on. But I was like, where is this going though? I want the stuff that makes us think as viewers because if not, then where are we going? What roller coaster ride are we gonna be taking on? Like I was on a walk earlier today and I was watching Greg Madden, All My Children. I know you didn't watch All My Children, Albert, so I got canceled. But I was
Of course.
watching it, and when Greg Madden, and I talked about this in the Members Live, and I watched it again this morning. But I saw those coffin scenes one day, and I remember watching when I was a kid. There was one day he was in shock that he was in the coffin, that he's still waking up to be like buried alive. The next day he was cursing God and cursing existence, and then one day he would be like atoning and saying like, "What can I do to be a better man?" And you saw the struggles he went through for months. That was beautiful. So it wasn't like get me out in a big explosion like they did on Days last week. That mess that they did, but it was good soap. I went on a tangent. Sorry about that. But go ahead.
No. It's all good. It's all good. No, I was just saying. No, cherry ice cream understands me. Like I said, This Is Us is actually a really great show. So
I'm
I
shocked
do
that you watched
highly
that. I'm
recommend that
so
show.
shocked.
No, it's actually when you watch it, you watch the first 5 episodes, you'll understand why.
It's not giving Albert
Um,
Boston.
what's not giving out basket?
You watching This Is Us.
Yeah, it's one of those. It was one of those shows where it's like I had to sit there and see why people love the show, why it was so emotional and stuff like that. And then you watch and it's like, oh, Okay, I get it. Um, it kind of reminded me of soap operas in a sense. It was like it was so taboo and it was so different. I wanted to see what it was about. And then I saw it, I was like, oh wow, okay, this is actually really good. This is interesting. So that's how I feel about that show. But I don't know. I get what you're saying, and I'm not even saying you're wrong as far as like things need to kind of push the boundaries.
Yeah,
Um, but here's the thing: I understand. I understand why people were upset because I didn't get it at first at one point, but then I was like,
but that's good.
yeah, I get why people were actually upset.
That's good. They need to be upset. That's good. Because when was the last time this soap made you upset? Not like a stupid storyline, but upset like, damn, that shouldn't have happened. When was the last time you felt that way? Right? You need
Yeah,
those moments on soaps where it's like, I can't believe they just did that. Like when she felt that one, I was like, did they just do that? You know what I mean? Like, did that really just happen? We need those moments. Or like when there was an episode on GH, which I was watching it on like the clips on YouTube. When I remember watching it back in the day too, when Carly said to Robin, "Oh, Jason just feels sorry for you because you had HIV," and I was like,
yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Actually, to tell you the truth, I remember when it actually happened. I was like, okay, that was wow. Like it did kind of leave me speechless. And see, Janet knows. Janet knows. That's
our
why Janet's
mouths
awesome.
dropped to the floor. Like I was when I was watching the Greg Madden stuff, my walk this morning. I saw a clip of Josh Madden, who was Erica's son, All My Children. And before he knew he was Erica's son, Erica sent him to go seduce Kendall, which I totally forgot about that. And he said to Erica in the scene, "You just wanted me to seduce Kendall because you probably want her to be a lesbian, just like Bianca." And I was like, "Not them sitting back at 06." I was like, "What?" That was spicy stuff. That was spicy stuff. Okay, Ron says, DC, what's your thoughts on Gabby sleeping with EJ, get back to Stefan for cheating on her with Ava, and also Connie playing with her emotion? I think you could also cheat. I'm Team Stefan. Stefan did a really wrong thing, but he sacrificed a lot for his wife. He sacrificed a lot for his wife. And I personally feel like Gabby's very ungrateful. She's a very ungrateful, almost like a brat to me in a sense. He did something wrong, but he sacrificed so much to get Gabby out of jail. And now she's sleeping with the man who put her in jail? Girl, bye. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. Get her out. You're out. Gabby, in this case, is the basura. Spanish for trash. Because in my mind, this man did everything to help you. He made one mistake. Gabby's acting like she's squeaky clean. Gabby has cheated. She has changed results. She has killed a man. Sis, this man made one mistake, and he literally did everything he could to help her. He's the reason actually now why she was actually got out of jail because he blackmailed EJ. But now you want to stick with the man who put you in jail. All right, whatever happens to her, it's on her. I wash my hands of her now. I wash my hands of Gabby. That's how I feel.
Hmm,
What do you feel?
okay. What's good? What's good, Jay Bloom? Okay.
Exactly.
Um. Okay. One, I just want to emphasize this little thing that whenever people sit there and say that you cheated on somebody, you made a mistake, I feel like it's insulting. I just want to just throw that out there. I feel like it's insulting because it's not a mistake; it's a choice. Okay.
Okay.
Whenever you sit there and say it's a mistake, it's like you're insulting that person's intelligence. But just in general, yeah, I do feel that she is being extra. There's nothing wrong with being upset with Stephanie. There's nothing wrong with Smith saying, you know what, I'm done with you. Yeah, he did sit there and get her out of jail, but
Mm-hmm.
she shouldn't have to sit there and be with him. What you're doing at this point, you're going overboard. What's good, Kristen? You're going overboard. You want to sit there and yeah, you're sleep. If it was anybody else, it's like, well, I do believe an eye for an eye, but at the same time, it's like you doing too much. You're sleeping with him to hurt Stefan. Stefan did it because, well, it was a stupid reason why he did it, but he did it. You're doing specifically to hurt him. You are sitting there trying to take his money. You are being extra at this point, and this is the reason why it's like, yeah,
But here's the thing though. You said like, okay, it's not a mistake, it's a choice, but choices can also be mistakes. What do you think about that?
The thing that says cheating is a horrible choice. It's like when people say it happened, nothing like that just happens because it's
That's
a
true.
choice.
But they were together. They were complicit in all their crimes. She was trying to protect her son. He was trying to protect Gabby. And crime just has a way of bringing people together. But the thing about it is that with those two, it, I look at intention. I look at intention, right? It was not their intention. Now, whether if Gabby decides to walk away from the marriage because she cheated, understandable. But it's all this extra stuff she's doing as a result. I get that she's upset and she's angry. I get it. I mean, truth be told, this is why when it's what is it called, the crime of passion. Sometimes those people get lighter sentences because they understand when you find someone does something to you, it's hurtful and you feel angry. I've turned to Thomas Forrester myself on certain occasions, right? But I feel that she could have showed a little more gratitude to Steph. When she threw him under the bus at that press conference with EJ, I already knew I was over her at that point. And you know how I felt. I did not like that she did that because that alone told me what kind of energy she was coming in with. And I get it. She spent all this time in jail, but she could have consulted him first before she did that, given him a heads up. And he lost his leverage over EJ. He was trying to secure a future for the both of them. And I got a feeling she's gonna end up pregnant. I, well, if they go this route, I don't know how soap writers are writing these days. I don't know. I don't know. But Stefan was a good man to her.
A good man to her.
Yes.
A good no. You just said a good man to her. Stefan did good for her. Let's not sit there and say he was a good man because he did cheat on her. Let's not sit there and try to act like
Good
that's
people do have moments of error, right? So
yeah.
we don't want to throw the whole baby away with the bathwater. Good people have listen. Everyone worships Sonny like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. He's been killing people left and right on Porsha. They don't throw the baby out the bathwater when it comes to the Corinthos. But we can't do that with Stefan. Do you think
What
Jason's
is
a good
Sonny?
man?
No, but I don't think he's the devil either.
You were so about to say yes, but you knew where I was going with this, and so you said no. You knew I was going with this. That's why you said no. That's why you said no. You know you were gonna say yes too. You know you were gonna say
That's good.
yes.
I like that. I
Because
like
here's the
that.
thing.
Always gotta sit there. Always gotta be on my toes for DC. I just want the chat to know. Always gotta be on my toes for DC.
I'm the Diane Miller of the chat, guys. The thing is like Stefan has a colorful history. Let's put it that way. It's a very colorful history, but he loves Gabby. He really loves her, and I'm really disgusted with what she's doing to this man. This really man who has really turned his life around for her. It's heartbreaking to watch.
Okay. Now, do you care about this whole team stuff? Because I'm gonna be honest. It's like I always sit there and say, "What's good, Spencer?" I always sit there and say that Sophia is like. I can't with this whole team stuff. Like I know you said you like them. Why don't you sit there and tell the chat why you like this team stuff again? Because I don't give two flying shits.
When you said that, and you
Sorry,
said, "Why
Dad,
don't you
I
tell the
don't.
chat?" You know, what you remind me of. You remind me of like when the kindergarten teacher said, "Guys, why didn't so and so? Why don't you tell the class your name?" That's it. Said that. Why don't you tell the chat what you like about it? I guess what I like about the teen storyline is it's different. This is the first time I've cared about a teen storyline in soaps since All My Children, and it's very hard, I think, nowadays because writing for teens is not the same. Like I remember there were shows back in the day like Degrassi, right, where older people were able to get into it because of how good it was written. And this is the first time I'm kind of getting that same kind of pseudo energy. So what I like about it is that the recast Tate is a lot better. Um, his journey with Holly and now the obstacles they're facing together because first it was her lying about the drugs and like that, but now it's the whole thing with Brady being guilty and all that stuff, running over her aunt and the idea of finding out her dad got ran over and all these emotions that's bringing up for her. And with Sophia, I want to see more of her. I want to know what's her story. Why does this hurt her so much? She's a girl that she really liked Tate and she's really hurt. And she's acting out in very childish ways, not realizing that this is beyond her. This is bigger than her, right? And she doesn't see that. She's young right now, right? So all she just sees is her anger. She sees a guy who hurt her, that rejection. And she's a beautiful woman, but unfortunately, when we get that rejection so young. We're taking it in as almost as if we're not good enough. We personalize it. It don't got nothing to do with her. His heart was always going to be with Holly no matter what. It don't matter how beautiful she looked. It didn't matter if she became a 20 out of 20 tomorrow. It wasn't going to make a difference, right? But she can't understand that. She's taking this as this is a reflection of my worth, and she's going after this man. And that's why it's like I wanna see more of Sophia. I have a soft spot for villains on soaps if they're written correctly. I got a really soft spot for them because I want to know what's their story. Connie, I don't have a soft spot for her because there's no story there. I don't feel for her. I don't feel for her. I don't know why you killed all these people. Was Lee the first person to show you love? Which he didn't. But like if he was the first person to show you love, to show you kindness, make you feel like you were a woman, make you feel worthy, I would appreciate that. It's kind of like I said before, getting these monologues from these characters. If Connie would have had a moment with Lee in the cardboard and said, Lee, you're the first person to ever show me love. Even my own parents didn't love me. And that would have warmed my heart, right? Because do you remember when also, okay, I'm going on a tangent here. We're talking about teens. I'm going on such a tangent here. But the thing is with Sophia, I want to know who she is. I want to connect to that part of her. And I think this teen scene storyline, I think so far it's been very written well. I mean, even with Dr. Green and his brother and his sister, and I want to know more about them and what was their journey like. I'm actually invested in this. I want to see where this goes.
Ron, you can sit there and ask DC the question. You can see the chat just like me.
Who's Felicity?
There we go. That's pretty much the answer right there, Ron. That's the answer right there.
No, I'm serious. But who's Felicity? I just met out of the days. Who's Felicity?
She's the girl with Down syndrome. That's Aaron's brother and Mark's brother.
I am feeling it because you know how we need to see more of that. It makes the show when I see different types of people from different talks of life, it makes the show feel real to me. It makes the show feel more real. And I want to see more Felicity, and that's why I feel for Mark because Mark is not just some scumbag. He loves his brother and his sister. He cares about them, and so that's I'm like I want to know why he's doing this. What's going on? Stuff going on with their mom. I want to know more about him. Like when Chad was having that scene with his sister, the girl was pretending to be Abigail. When he was giving her that little speech, you saw how she was falling in love with him. I was falling in love with Billy Flynn that day. I think everybody was falling in love with him that day when he gave that speech. Come on. Weren't we all falling in love with Billy Flynn that day when he gave that little speech? Albert not so much because Albert doesn't do romance. Albert doesn't do nothing.
Nope.
Albert doesn't do anything.
Nope.
But we were all falling in love with Billy Flynn. He gave that little speech. I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, those little moments, we need those on soaps. When he was talking about, I want to be there for you. You're the one for me. Abigail, da da da. I was like, oh my God. This is so good. I was like, so you're feeling for all the characters. I want to feel conflicted in the soap. I don't want to feel like I'm just automatically on this side. I want to feel both sides of the spectrum. Oh, we got a comment from Ed DC.
Yeah.
What do you think about T.J.&Molly relationship, and do you see them going separate ways? So we discussed that a little bit earlier on, and I pretty much said that with T.J.&Molly, I don't want them to separate. I don't. Albert, on the other hand, wants TJ to fall into the arms of another woman, but I feel that how I feel is that I don't blame him for pushing hard Molly. He wants to save his marriage. That's a good man right there. But Albert, on the hand, thinks it's disastrous and it's poisonous, and he's not respecting his wife. That's why I was saying you respect his wife. Remember, you said it with a little open voice. You respect her.
I did it with a tone. I did it with a tone. I didn't realize I did it with a tone. Let's get Jacqueline.
You put a little over that respect when you said it. You did. You totally did that. You put open that. You did. You will open that.
Wow. I didn't realize I did that. I totally didn't do that. I'm just actually being sarcastic with DC, but
he wants TJ in the arms of the woman, guys. He definitely does. But go ahead.
Xander.
Oh, Xander.
B&B. You know what? Is there anything else to talk about B&B? I mean, Days?
No, I feel like we talked about, because some of the stuff we kind of already talked about too on last week, and there hasn't been much of an update, I don't think, right? Since we watched.
No. I mean, you still got Xander that wants to then beat the hell out of Brady, and Sarah. I don't know if you watched today's episode. You didn't watch today's episode, did you?
No, you could just tell me. You can tell me.
So, she's concerned that, Brady, that Xander is going to still go after Brady and everything. She follows him to the park, and I'm just like, what kind of relationship is this when you can't even sit there and trust him? Like people love to sit there and say, "Oh, I love them. They're so great together," and this, that, and the third. But you can't even trust him to the point where you got a driver to take you out in the wheelchair and everything like that just to follow this man because he said he had Titan business at like 9 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock at night, knowing that you can't trust him. What's good, Amber? Knowing you can't trust him. So I'm just like, why are you with him? Even Maggie was like, you can't sit there and try to worry about managing your husband's emotions. But people thought I was crazy, and I was like, oh, I think that Gwen is better for him. Like,
Gwen was always a better match because he never had to change himself for Gwen. But the problem is that people who are quote unquote bad boys, and I'm not talking about bad boy entertainment, but people who are quote unquote bad boys, um, they I've noticed this with people. They always go for opposites. I feel like he could never be with a bad a bad girl like Gwen. He couldn't. He needs that woman of virtue, and the woman of virtue needs a bad guy. I don't know why. I don't know how they make it work, but it's almost like they're drawn to each other. She's drawn to the fact that he's a better man because of her, and then he's drawn to the fact that like, she's with me even regardless of my flaws, which is a weird combo. Um, it's like the Taco Bell combos. It's weird and a little out of order, but we accept it anyways because we know at times it can taste good. But I think with those two is that with Sarah, she is always I feel like it's only a matter of time before Xander does something again for the relationship because of the man he is. And she has such a high moral threshold that there's always going to be this clashing for the two of them, unfortunately.
that's why, again, this is why I'm like, Xander was better off with Gwen. Because with Gwen, he didn't have to sit there and like I said, he didn't have to sit there and change. And she was the ride or die chick. He didn't have to sit there and change or anything like that. And she accepted him for who he was. But with Sarah, it's
But he
like,
didn't accept her.
hmm? Yeah,
Xander
he
didn't
didn't.
accept
And
Gwen.
then and that's unfortunate. But it's like, so you're gonna go out with a woman who doesn't accept you? Yeah, no, that's much better.
But
I
the
don't
thing
know.
is, I think it's because Sarah made him work for it. Gwen didn't. I
I
think that's
still
where Gwen
think that
messed
Gwen.
up. What was that?
No, I mean ultimately, I still think that Gwen is a better match um than Sarah. That's just my personal opinion.
I think so too, but she didn't make him work for it. That's the problem. That's why he loves Sarah so much. He got to work for it. He got to earn it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in relationships before where I've dated certain guys and they always said to me, "Oh, DC, you're so busy. It's like almost I have to work for your attention." It's weird. I kind of like that. People like that crap.
I don't know if I would like that. I don't have
You
the
would?
patience for that. I don't have the patience for that.
If you look at Audra and Weinar, she makes people work for it. That's part of that allure. She makes people work for it. That's the thing. When you make
Oof.
people work for it, and it's low key kind of toxic. And by the way, when I did that, that was not intentional. I was just naturally busy. I'm just putting that out there. I'm not a toxic individual. I was naturally busy. But the thing is, when people feel like they gotta earn your work for it, it's like I earned this, yeah. So then when they get you, it's like, which you gotta wear off quickly. But when they get you, it's kind of like, yeah, like I got that person, I earned it. It wasn't easy to get because people don't go after what's easy to get. They go after what's hard, what's strenuous. For example, like if somebody can if everybody can do something, it doesn't have value. It's only when only a certain people or a certain amount of society or population can do something or are doing something, it has value.
Thank you, Jonathan Johnson says I've been saying this before. Xan and Glenn would have been more interesting.
They
Thank
would
you,
have.
Jonathan. Um, yeah, no, I don't have the patience for that.
They had a Bonnie and Clyde dynamic, but they could have still worked. She just didn't make him work for it, and that's where Audra messed up with Tucker. She didn't make Tucker work for it. That was a problem. That was the one man she didn't make work for it. That was a problem because why? Tucker already knew her. It was like two people who like grew up in the hood together. They already know your secrets. They already know why the dead bodies are buried in your life. So Tucker didn't have to work for it. He knew where to go, how to do him to go around with Audra, but Ashley had to work for it. Gwen and Xander, they could have done it, but she didn't have to work for it. And for those of you guys who watch Guiding Light, Alexander Spalding and Roger Thornton together, they were a toxic pair. They didn't work out in the end, obviously, but Alexander Spalding did make Roger work for it. And that's the problem with Nikki and Victor. Nikki doesn't make Victor work for it. He doesn't make Victor. He doesn't. She doesn't make Victor work for it. That's why Victor is like he steps on her like the socks on his feet. You know, and so that's the thing. If Xander would have done, if Gwen would have done that with Xander, totally would have been different. But I think she was also in a vulnerable situation at the time that she didn't have the time to make him work for it because she was already trashed by the whole town. Nobody liked her. She had no allies. She didn't have the time to do that. See, Audra was in a decent place in Genoa City where she maybe didn't have no friends, but she also didn't need friends at the same time. She was in a decent standing, so she could make you work for it. She had time.
DC, you got two questions from Ed and Cherry Ice Cream.
Okay, so Ed the Bank. Ed the Bank, that's my brother's name, Ed. Uh, DC, do you think Isaiah can have a connection to RJ and Hank from One Life to Live? I definitely think so. Do you remember what RJ and Hank were? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh you do?
Black guy with the braids. Yeah.
Do you remember who Hank was?
No.
You don't know who Hank was. You know, because you weren't watching One Life to Live, that's why I got canceled. So Ed, I would say this is that I do think that Isaiah, I hope they do have a connection to Hank from One Life to Live. They need to keep One Life to Live alive. Now, Cherry Ice Cream says, DC, do you want to see Lucy and Martin get back together? It's like when I see Scott Ball on the screen. I can't take him seriously. I can't take Lucy and Martin. I take Martin seriously now in this Alexis storyline, but I can't take him seriously. Anybody who's in a storyline with Lucy, it makes them like lose street cred. Your character loses street cred. Have you ever seen Sunny in a scene with Lucy?
I've seen it, but when I do, it's usually just hilarious, and he doesn't take her seriously.
I can't take
Johnson.
her seriously. I can't.
Johnson says Xander and Gwen would have been a somewhat villainous power couple.
I think so too. Gwen really accepted him, but she gave too much acceptance. She didn't make him work. She didn't make him work for nothing. She didn't make him work for nothing. I'm telling, like, even if you look at the new Abigail, she's making Chad work for it. Even though technically Chad should be making her work for it to prove herself, because she's the newbie coming in. Like, are you my wife? But no, she's making him work for it. I'm taking notes from her. Her fake amnesiac self. You got to make them work for it.
Good luck to those people. I don't have the patience for that.
I get the feeling a few have made you work for it in the past.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't have the patience for that.
It makes people alluring in a sense. So, do you want to talk about B&B or do you want to continue on?
Yes. Actually, since we were going why not, how about we go why not next?
Okay, why not?
Since we were talking about that.
So
what do you think about this whole Sharon? This whole Sharon and everything like that?
I like that they're still, once again, Daniel and Mariah have not officially met. I think this is my biggest issue with the storyline. I like that we're really smart casting, but it's like, why has that still yet to happen? I'm not understanding the storyline. It's like they're almost there. The thing about it is, I was watching it when Nick went to his family for help, and Victor was just like, well, Nick, I'll tell you when Sharon, she can handle herself, okay? If you take faith out of the equation, I'll faith coming up with you, right? Everything will be all right. And I'm just like, Victor doesn't give a damn about Sharon. Like, this is the thing I noticed with Victor. He doesn't care about his children and like, you know, like the mother or the father of their child. He doesn't care. They're collateral damage to Victor. I noticed that. Chelsea was collateral damage for him at one point in time. Sharon was collateral damage for him. Billy, you saw how Victoria was just like, you know, oh, he's a father of my child. Well, Victoria, we all have our choices to make, okay? That's something to do with me, okay? I got nothing to do with that, huh? With Billy Boy. And it's like, that is messed up because I know that if Adam came for Vicky for Nikki, Victor would have a problem with that. She couldn't just be collateral damage. But for him, it is. And it's like he even put Victoria in a really tough place. So with Sharon, Nick going there, they should have cared more. Sharon was the best daughter-in-law they ever had. And that's on period. She was the best daughter-in-law they ever had. Yes, she got out Victor at one point in time. I act like that didn't happen. I was like pretend like that never happened. Because it just didn't work. But I feel like with the storyline, it's starting to get a little cartoonish for me, a little cartoonish because once again, it's hitting the good points, but it's lacking depth for me. All right, but what about you?
It's it's a little weird. I mean, it's like, okay, so she's, I guess, going through this whole spiraling and everything like that. And her whole plan now is to sit there and kill Daniel. And I don't know if you saw today's episode, but like, for a scene that's supposed to be taken seriously, I felt myself laughing more than anything else. And I think the only thing that's actually keeping it going, what's his name? Cameron Kirk? Or Kristen? Is it Kristen Kirk or Cameron Kirk? Cameron Kirk, right?
Cameron Kirk.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's actually keeping this thing going. It's just his sarcasm and wit and everything like that that's keeping this going. Because it's like, and then Nick for like past 3 days have been doing absolutely nothing except for talking about sharing with Mariah and everything like that. I'm like, okay, Nick, that's great. You're not actually doing anything though. Like, what are you trying to go out and
Yeah.
find her? Or are you just gonna spend another 3 days talking to everybody else about sharing and just hoping for that? And today, I think he actually said he was like, well, we could just sit there and hope for your mom's, for mom's best or whatever, and just hope that she does the right thing. And it's like, so your plan is to sit there and just sit and wait, even though you know about her past and the past, her whole thing in the past. Oh, Kirsten. Kirsten.
Cameron
Thank
Kirsten.
you.
You gotta highlight the
Cameron
comment. Don't
Kirsten.
forget to highlight the comment.
Thank you. Cameron Kirsten.
Cameron
I keep
Kirsten.
mess I keep messing up his name. Thank you, Jonathan.
Cameron Kirsten. You know, the thing is with the storyline though is that like, I, did they ever show us why Sharon stopped taking the meds in the first place?
I don't know. I don't even. It's funny. If they did,
'Cause
I might have forgot because it's been so long. I'm gonna sit there and switch to my laptop in a second. But no, keep talking.
yeah, I don't think they ever explored. I don't think they ever shown us that Sharon stopped taking her meds because if she did, then like I would want to know the reason why she stopped taking it. Like what prompted that? And that's the thing with soap. Sometimes they just go right to the plot. This is why I say depth is important. It's not just because I can find all psychoanalysis about it, guys. It's because those little details matter, and it helps us kind of connect the dots of one, not only why we should care about the story, but why we shouldn't be entertained by it, why we should feel way about it. But I don't think we ever even saw that process of her not taking the meds. So, okay, under pressure, the meds stopped working. But then, how did they stop working all of a sudden? Laura B, that's my question though. Like, how did it stop working all of a
Well,
sudden? Because they're working
I
for a
know.
minute.
I know that they said something along the lines of like she was adjusting to her new medication and stuff like that. So like, you
And the doctor
know.
didn't schedule no follow up after a week. So like, needs to be fired. Low key.
I do remember that part. I do remember that part. Like she was adjusting to her new medication and stuff. And damn, it's been so long. I totally forgot. But then also maybe I could have just forgot because when you're watching four soap operas, you're just like
It's a lot
some
to keep
stuff
up
is
with.
gonna fall through the cracks. Exactly, some stuff is just gonna fall through the cracks.
That's why I said the gates. B&B will be dropped once the gates come around. They have good storylines.
And how long are you gonna give the gates? By the way,
1 week.
1 week.
That's 5 episodes.
Okay.
That's fair. This is a primetime show. That's five episodes would have been fair.
All
How
right,
long do you
chat.
think I
I'm
should give
going
them?
to longer than a week. All right, so I'm gonna sit there and black out for a hot minute, but I will be right back. DC, you could just continue talking.
Albert Bostic one day disappears into thin air. Will they find him? But unfortunately, DC would not find him because he's not working with the WSB. That was on his payroll. All right, Kristen says, what was your favorite Y&R storyline, past or present? Out of the Ashes was my favorite, Kristen. Out of the Ashes. If you guys remember Out of the Ashes back in 2011, I think what was good about it was a umbrella storyline. It was the ultimate collab. Yes, 20 seconds with DC. Yes, I'm the new head of the Bossk Enterprises WSB guys, and I will never return. but one day I will return to all my YouTubers. You do daytime. But but Out of the Ashes is my favorite storyline. You never seen Out of the Ashes, were you? You didn't see Out of the Ashes YNR. Have you seen clips of it? We gotta watch the classic soaps, classic episodes from time to time. You gotta watch it from time to
Now,
time.
Johnson said, who was your favorite character villain on Days?
Well, it's always Stefano, but if I'm looking at it right now, I'm not impressed with anyone right now at the moment as a villain. TJ, not TJ, EJ just feels like a pretty boy to me half of the time more than a villain. When James Scott played EJ, I was scared. This EJ just feels like I'm a pretty boy. And yes, I will get you, and I'm the new DI. It feels pretty boyish with this EJ. Connie is not a good villain. I'm happy the storyline is done because I couldn't take it anymore. She didn't have a backstory. Like I said, Lee was the only person who showed her love and care. Maybe I don't know, her parents dropped her off at a fire station when she was a baby or something. Like, give us something to care about her. Jan Spears was wackadoodle, but initially her run as a villain was because I think it was Sean Brady saved her from an attack, and that's how she felt, come to fall in love with him. Those things make more sense. What about you, Albert? Who's your favorite Days villain?
Probably be Orpheus. I would sit there and say.
Oh, Morpheus. Morpheus. I like Clyde Weston at times.
At times. And Ed has a question for you.
DC, what do you think about Christina talking to cops about lawyers and her behavior as an adult with her not being able to control herself? Christina needs a purpose. I talked about that in my view. She needs a purpose. People without a purpose are dangerous people. I'm learning now to stay away from them as I get older because those people, they need a lot of stimulation. And people like that, they just, her wanting the baby was just to like feel purposeful. And you saw how quickly what she was to go risk it for Ava because now she had another purpose, which was being Sonny's defender. Christina didn't know who she was. And I think that Molly wanted to help her sister gain purpose, and she also wanted to give her husband a child. I think she felt some kind of guilt, which I think a lot of women feel that way when they can't naturally conceive a child because they feel like this is something a woman should be able to do, in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you, because I've been sitting there saying that all week. And so I was glad when Sonny said that today. Sonny was like, you can't sit there and be talking to the cops without a lawyer. Um, and it's sometimes maybe it's also Kate Massey. I think that's her name, Kate Massey.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if this was Lexi, because Lexi looks a little more younger than Kate. So like when
Mm-hmm.
Kate is not there making these mistakes, it's like, oh, you're way too old for this. Like you look like you're the type of woman to have like about 2 kids or whatever. At least with Lexi is like, yeah, it's like young and dumb, but it's like I don't know.
Here's the thing. I disagree because I'm gonna say this. Lexi looked like she was in her sophomore year of high school, getting ready for her Sweet 16. That's always what I saw when I saw Lexi. Lexi would have been way too young. In fact, when Lexi was still underage for the later years, she just looked so young. So it was hard to believe half the storylines that she was even in. Kate Mancy is a good balance. She still looks young enough, not too young, but she doesn't look like she has like 2 or 3 kids out there. Come on, I didn't
I
see
feel like
that part.
I see it. I see
I
it.
didn't see that part. I feel like Kate Mancy played an irresponsible late 20s, early 30s Christina very well. Lexi I think was good, but Lexi and Haley Poulos look too damn young for their roles. Like even Haley Poulos was playing a DA. To me, it felt like an eighth grader, like when they had a career day at school, dress up as your favorite career. That's what it was
Hmm.
giving when she would dress up as a DA. Like it just didn't seem as natural. And the thing is, I think Haley Poulos was obviously of age, but she just looked so young. It was hard for me to believe. Like even Neutrina is still young, youthful, but she looks a little more, slightly more mature. Let me say more mature than Sydney Michaela. Like Drew Garrett's Michael just looked more younger. With this Michael's been out for a long time now. But in the beginning, when this Michael came, he just had more of a mature appearance. I don't want to say older, but more mature. And that's the thing with Kate Mancy. She had more of a mature appearance. But it wasn't too mature with the 6 kids like Albert was saying. I don't think it was that.
I love how I went from like 2 to 3 to 6, but yeah, sure. Um,
I added 3 more.
Wow, they actually got a lot that's going on with GH right now. I'm just sitting there thinking about that
It's
between
the best soap right
Coach.
now to me.
Yeah, I mean they're I appreciate the effort that they're doing. What's good doing? I appreciate the effort that they're doing because it was a period where I put that GH was trash at one point, but they definitely stepped it up. So I gotta give GH his props right now.
Which soap is trash to you now,
Trash,
or not as good? Needs
not as
improvement.
good. I would probably sit there and say B&B. I would have to sit there and say B&B. I'm liking Y&R. Yeah, the sharing story. Okay, I gotta sit there and say something because I know a lot of people are upset or kind of just like they're over um sharing storyline. I'm just like, so okay, I know y'all over sharing storyline, but what would you have preferred? Her being in a coffee house and if they're serving coffee and giving and dispensing advice. I'm like, I guess part of me is like, she has been boring until she's been off her meds. This is the most interesting I've seen her been since she's been off her meds. So I'm kind of just like, well, I mean, what do y'all want her storyline going now? Like,
Oh, okay, true. I mean, because if this wasn't happening, this is the biggest strong INR. Because all we're seeing is like Victor trying to take down everybody's business. Like he won't stop till he buys out everybody's business on INR, whatever. And then Phyllis being delusional, thinking this job is actually gonna work out, which it's not. It never does in your jobs. And I agree because all the other storylines are slow burners, and we need a fast burner. YNR is known for slow burners, but they always have at least a fast burner going, which you need that. So I agree. I guess it's just becoming cartoonish a little bit. It is becoming a little cartoonish. You feel it's
it
becoming
is.
cartoonish?
It is. I'm not gonna lie. It is. It definitely is. I think my whole thing is I can appreciate the fact within like the last 3 years or so I've been watching Sharon, I've never cared. Every time she's been on, I've listened to her in the background while I'm looking at my phone. This is the first time that I've been just sitting there being like, okay, all right, this is interesting. I mean, yeah, this is kind of stupid, but the whole Cameron thing is definitely lightening it up a little bit,
Right, right.
and I can definitely appreciate that more than what she's been doing before, which was absolutely nothing. I just I can appreciate the effort that they're putting into her. They haven't been putting any effort into her before,
Okay, fair
so
enough. Fair enough. I'll give you that. Fair enough. Fair enough.
B&B, your thoughts?
I was watching Jade. I was disgusted with a certain character. I was so disgusted with her.
Okay,
I was
let's
like,
go.
Lee. I was disgusted with Lee, and I was
What was you discussing?
disgusted with her support for Taylor. Very disgusted by it. And I'm gonna tell you why. Like that's why I look like DC's struggling again. Not today. I'm off the clock. Let me tell you why I was disgusted with Lee in that storyline. She seems so concerned about Taylor. She's like, oh my God, yeah, I have a patient. Oh my God, a heart condition. I have a colleague. Oh my God. So concerned about Taylor. But my thing is, where was that energy for Poppy when she first came to town? Where was that energy for Poppy and Luna when they came to town? Where was that energy for them? Where was that energy for them and their concern? Where was that energy for your sister when she was in jail? She seemed annoyed when Poppy was in jail. She seemed annoyed. Where was that energy for her sister? And the thing is, I've noticed about Lee, she's what they call it, an elitist. She cares about status. If you don't have status, she would treat you like trash. And I've noticed that about her because she she puts the Foresters on a pedestal, right? Oh my God, like Taylor, oh my goodness, like I have a colleague. What about your own sister Poppy? It's like you're just only taking her in now because you know nobody else is gonna do it. You're gonna look like the wickedest witch of all of LA. But like, where is that energy for your sister when she first came to town? Like, even when Luna was going through her lunacy, she said to Poppy before she died, like we really needed you. And then Poppy was just kind of like very dismissive about it. And my thing is
Yes,
like, I feel like, listen, when you get to a good place in life, I'm not saying you have to help everybody up, but help those that you can. Because I don't think you're ever in a good position in life just for decoration for yourself, you know? And when I saw Lee was so concerned about Taylor, I was looking back, I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's gross, you know? all this concern, but where was that for Poppy when your sister needed you? You have all this for Taylor. Why? Because this is Finn's family, and he's married to Steffi Forrester, and she put Steffi and the Forresters on this pedestal, and she looked down on her sister the whole time. And look at the things her and her sister are in with Luna. And I'm not saying she had to help raise her niece; it's not her responsibility. But you know, I feel like she could have taken an active role if she wanted to. It wasn't
Yes.
like it. I didn't think it was gonna be a burden for her, and it made me realize I don't like Lee. She really, I saw her look down on Sheila, but it is Sheila. Everybody would do that. I don't blame you. But I feel like her sister needed her. You care so much about Taylor, like, I felt so angry watching that today. I was like, what about your sister who needed you?
Hmm. I didn't think about that. Um, Ron, you want to? I mean, DC, you want to answer the question that Ed's been asking like 3 times now?
It's only twice. Don't do that to Ed. It's only twice he's asked that
I've
question
seen it.
over.
I've seen it 3 times.
I only saw it twice, and I got your back. I only see it twice. But what are my thoughts on Portia's actions? She's going to get Brad in trouble, and Brad has been such a good man lately. And Brad has gone through so much. The man deserves a break, and I feel really shocked by Portia's actions, but I also know that's going to get Brad in trouble. Brad is a good man, and so for Portia to feel I already know where this is going. She's putting Brad in jeopardy, a good man in jeopardy, right? We all agree that Brad is a good man. So it's like seeing her do this, talking about, oh, he steps out of line, he's out of here. Well, you're stepping out of line. You're stepping out of line.
You
Go
know, it's
ahead.
actually really. You know, it's actually really funny. Um, it's funny because I good man is kind of pushing it.
Mm-hmm. My
I
daddy
don't
knows gonna
remember
come out in
if
a second, but go ahead.
yeah, exactly. Do I
It's a
was like
stretch.
it's damn sure a stretch. He is bettering himself. I would not sit there and say that he is a good man. Do you not remember the time where he actually tried to blackmail Michael into sleeping with him because of the whole? Yeah, so I wouldn't exactly go with a good man, but he
Is
is
it?
trying to redeem himself.
Is this because of Wiley and the baby switch?
No, not the baby switch was bad. I'm talking about when he actually tried to blackmail Michael into having sex with him because Michael and Kiki they weren't too sure if they were actually related or not or whatever, and I think he caught them in a compromising moment or whatever. He was like, "Hey, listen, I'll sit there and tell the world unless you have sex." And it was just kind of a sleazy thing to sit there and do. So I've never really liked him for that, but I can see that he's trying to be a better person. So
Are you sure it's not because of the Wiley thing? Does that not also play a part? The Wiley thing?
no,
Well, are
I
you
mean
sure it
it's
doesn't play a
that.
part?
No,
Would you say that Brad's a bad person because he stole Wiley from Michael?
I mean it's yeah, he's definitely not a good person for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I understood the conflict or whatever because it's like he did want to try to do it to the baby just died and everything like that. Where's this going, DC? Because I feel like I was
I'm
about to
not
go on
going
something else.
anywhere. I'm not going. I'm just asking a question. Was he a bad person? Do you think he was a bad person for also taking Wiley?
It wasn't a good act, no.
No, no. What would you say about someone who takes a baby from their parents?
A person who takes a baby from their parents, I mean, it's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing. What would you say about that particular
Uh,
person? What would you say about them?
I would sit there and well, a bad person for what? A bad person for life,
For life? Oh, you sure about that?
or
For
just a
life?
bad person? Just where's this going, DC? Where's this going?
So, by your own admittance, you said that someone who takes a baby from their parents is a bad person for life. Is that correct?
Well, I didn't say that. That's what you're saying.
Isn't that?
That's
But is
why
that
I'm
what you
asking
just said?
you.
Chad, is that what you just heard her say? Is that what you just said? That someone who is a possibly bad person for life, right? Or did you just lie under oath? Mr. Bosnick, tell me.
I'm being put on the stand. Okay. I mean, it's a bad act. Yeah, it's a bad act.
It's
Yeah,
bad
it's bad.
acting. Bad for life, as you said. That was your words. Bad for life.
Actually, no. I asked you, is it a bad? I wouldn't sit there and say it's bad for life, but it's definitely a
I
bad
mean,
thing.
I would agree with you. It is bad for life, wouldn't you say? So it's bad for life, right?
I don't know about bad for life. I mean, it's a bad choice. Done some bad
So,
things in history,
so
but
taking a child away from the parent is a bad choice, correct? Are we in agreement in
yes,
that?
absolutely yes.
Do you want to know what else is a bad choice? Who
It's
else
a
makes
bad.
some bad choices?
Yeah,
Would
well,
you like to know? So Carly and Sonny also made a bad choice when they took Michael away from his parent, AJ Quarterman. That also was a bad choice, right? When we say that was also bad for life, when we say that, well, those are your,
what
but Sonny's your guy, though, right?
wasn't AJ like a mean drunk though at the time?
But Sonny's your guy, though, right?
Yeah, I didn't sit there and say Sonny's my guy. Never actually said that. I mean, Sonny did sit there and sleep with a 17-year-old woman, put her on a pole, gave her candy, and knowing that she came from a SH abuse house. I wouldn't sit there and say that he is exactly a good person.
But you know who did say he's your guy? Jason said was guy. He also took Michael from his father as well. So he's also, wouldn't you say, bad for life? Would you say that
Where
too?
is this going? I feel like this conversation is going left. Where is this going?
Where I wanted it to go. It just went there. So now I'm good. No further questions. Because the thing is, I could get you on the whole Brad trying to sleep with Michael. I couldn't think of any comparison to that. So I had to get you on the Wiley train to get you where I wanted to go.
I don't. Chad, do y'all understand where he was going? Because I really don't. I'm just not there saying like I was never a fan of him because of what he did, and
Yeah,
I
because
stand by that.
no, because when I said Brad was a good person, I know you're gonna come with something. So okay, I was gonna walk right into that, and I'm gonna talk about the Wiley thing, and he's gonna say how Brad was such a bad person, and I'm gonna mention how his guy Sonny, took Michael from his parents too. So, but you didn't walk into it. You didn't walk all the way into it. You
No,
went
I didn't. I didn't walk
okay,
into whatever trap that you was trying to set. And
trap
I
or
don't want like I
conversation,
don't know where it was going. I didn't know where it was going either. But
trap or conversation.
what was I originally talking about? Because I feel like I kind
Oh,
of
we're talking
lost
about
it.
Porsche. I was answering Ed's question about what Porsche did. And I was saying how she's going to put Brad in a bad position because he's a lab tech.
Yeah, and I guess my whole thing is with Porsche is just like what's good, Darby. I guess my whole thing with Porsche is like Porsche is literally popcorn kettle black because it's like boom. Although you are doing this for what I understand is a good reason. Like she wants
Yeah.
to protect her daughter and everything. And it's funny too because even the actress was defending her character's actions and why she's doing it. And thank you, Jonathan.
Jonathan says, DC, there's an article that states that many more people believe that ever may return to days, and there's a theory on how he was kept alive. I hope so. I think he was a good character. Albert, I don't feel that same energy from you.
I think they kind of rushed the ID thing. I really do because then it just made you just not really care. And if they were going to do that, then they should have made him the killer instead of just annoying Connie. But it's
Right.
like they rushed it too fast.
He got killed off with the quickness. They rushed him out of that Salem and so quick with the body bag. I was like, damn, that was quick. They killed that man with the quickness. Okay, so you mentioned how Portia's character was being defended, but like Brooke Care
But
defended Portia, her character.
yeah,
Honestly, I understand where Portia was coming from because Heather Weber was a whole serial killer. Like I kind of get it, and I can't even say I'm mad at her for that because it's like even Laura coming to like Heather's defense, I'm like, oh my god, it was a cobalt poisoning, and I'm like, well, what about prior to cobalt poisoning? Her stealing Sam and stealing Danny. She literally fell off the balcony with Danny. She took Danny and she just fell backwards on the balcony. She's like, if I can have him, no one can. That was pre cobalt poisoning. So it's like I understand where she's coming from. And see now Portia has finally a stain on her character. I love it when characters are morally gray.
And the old school people who've been here for a while know where that comment comes from.
But you know what the thing is? The godfather of that quote. Listen, we do actually do need morally gray characters. We all characters got to be morally gray because on one hand, we know what Portia's doing is not right, but on the other hand, we know that this is to help her daughter. I don't blame her because Heather was trying to kill her. Was trying to kill Trina. So I totally understand it. Totally understand it. I have no qualms against what Portia did at all. Honestly, nothing
Yeah,
against it.
I really don't. I mean, I was a little kind of annoyed when she kept coming at Brad sideways, talking about, well, he's this and he's that, and he's done that, he's done that. It's like, and can we talk about all the stuff that you done? You want to sit there and hold a mirror up to all the stuff that you did? No. And the way she was coming, it was almost like she was coming at like he did something personally to her. And by
Yeah,
the
he did
way,
nothing to her. Yeah, that was weird.
exactly. And by the way, that from what somebody said, that list or whatever of new employees or whatever has been up for a month. Porsha, what the hell have you been doing? You're co-chief of staff. You telling me you haven't looked at that list in a month? So like,
Yeah, it was very weird. Like she was like Brad, but like Brad didn't really do anything. I don't even think they ever even interacted, from what I can recall. So it's like I've never seen interaction between two of them. So that was very weird that she had such a strong reaction. But I think that that was to kind of contrast it with the hypocrisy we were going to see later down the line in that episode, which that was a good touch because I didn't see that coming. Because now what GH is doing is like they're having like little conversations here and there, and even though we think they're pointless, they actually serve a purpose down the line. But one thing I thought was weird was Blaze's mom and Sunny and her have a conversation. Sunny was like, "Do you think that they mentioned something about Blaze reaching out to Christina?" And Blaze mom was like, "Nah, I think it'll just be too much with everything going on." I'm like, "What?" Like, even though they're not together anymore, it would actually make more sense than for Blaze to reach out to Christina now than not. At least as friends. That was weird.
well, here's the thing. I thought about that too, and then it just made me think, going into conspiracy mode or whatever. Like, whatever happened between that actress and the show must have been something because even that line doesn't even make any sense.
Did something happen?
No, I'm sitting there saying like I
Oh,
feel
see.
like something must have happened for them to sit there and do that. They even sit there and say that like I don't really know because it's like what the hell are you talking about? It makes exact sense. Like
Blaze
um
left so quickly. It's like she doesn't even exist anymore. It's like that storyline never happened. That part now that I don't get because they gave us such a build up on the Blaze thing. I felt like Blaze honestly should have been around for this storyline. It was weird that Blaze wasn't. Like they just rushed her off so quickly. She's gonna be with Miguel or whatever. She's going on tour. It was so. It's like they wanted to rush her off. It's like when Everett died on Days. When they rushed him off on that ambulance stretcher, it almost felt symbolic. Like they were just like trying to rush this character off the screen. It really felt symbolic in its own way. So I'm like, why did they do that? I didn't really get that, to be honest. I feel like Blaze and Christina she could have at least seen Christina through a little bit of this and then left. You don't leave right as she fell out the window. That was weird, right? As that happened,
yeah.
that was weird.
And let me just read this comment. Becky Z says exactly, Albert. Portia has been distracted even at work, worrying about the whole Heather thing.
Oh,
Um,
go ahead.
no, what was you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say because I talked about it in my video. I didn't do it as a separate video, so I don't know if people are gonna catch it, but I hope they don't kill Sam off. And if they do, I want Lindsay Hartley to be the one to see Sam out into the sunset. That's my Sam. That's my Sam right there. That's my Sam. Sam I am, no green eggs and ham. That's my Sam.
Did you say that in your video, by the way?
I
You
did. I
see?
did. I haven't had no backlash yet. I don't think people made it that far. It's like
And
but that
see,
is my Sam.
and you know exactly why I'm sitting there saying that, right?
If I did it in a whole separate video, like if it was its own topic, it totally gotten the backlash.
Okay, all right, all right, all right.
And I think the only people who have like commented on it, like Samuel. Samuel was totally for it too. He's like, "Yeah, that's our Sam." I was
I
like, "That's
know.
our girl."
I saw him in the chat. I think yesterday. I was like, I heard that you and DC talked or whatever, and Sam was like, "Yep, that's my Sam." I was like, "Okay."
Sam, I am no green eggs and ham. That's my
Remember that nursery rhyme?
You know the thing, because you know the thing is that too is like, okay, on B and B, I don't like that Rebecca Budig is like the Taylor they might potentially kill off with because we don't have no flashbacks with this Taylor. We don't have no memories with this Taylor. But however, with Lindsay Hartley, I'm okay with it because she's actually been Sam a couple of times for the year. So I'm cool with it. See, JD Blue agrees. She likes Lindsay Hartley as Sam too. You don't like her as Sam, Albert? Are you a hater?
I wasn't that I'm a hater.
Not like it, but
I
go
don't
ahead.
hate her as Sam, but like Kelly's it. Kelly's Sam to me. Kelly's always going to be sit there and Sam to me. That's just.
Why?
I feel like she made the character. I
How
feel
does she
like
make the
she made the
character?
character. She just made the character.
Who is Sam's character?
Was Sam's character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I said, it's just a feeling.
You can't
It's just a
describe it,
feeling.
can you? You can't describe it, can you?
No, it's just because it's more of a feeling.
Boy, tell me
Sometimes
exactly what you want.
sometimes sometimes you can't sit there and describe feelings. It's just it is what it is. But I wanna go to Being
Wait a minute.
B.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute, real quick. You said can't describe feelings. You were always saying all the time you're alive. You are a logical person and things should be able to be described. It's just that you always think. You know why he sings guys because he has no defense. But go ahead. Let's talk about B&B. Go ahead.
This is why DC is always gonna be my guy for life. I just wanna just point that out. Um okay. So apparently we're gonna sit there and still have Will on a show. And how do you
Who?
feel about that? Will? How do you feel about that?
I guess I just want to know, like, what is Will's character? Because we already have two useless Spencer sons. I don't want a third. So that's my thing. I don't want a third. So,
You think
what are your
that
thoughts?
it, I think what I would like to sit there and see if he does decide to work at Forster Creations, how is he going to get along with RJ? Because like both of their dads are like somewhat like enemies or whatever. They really don't like each other, and I want to sit there and see how is that going to play out for those two, especially if they get that girl, whatever her name is, that woman that's going to be coming in, and they may be a potential love triangle. I'm very curious to sit there and see how they're going to carry that out. Is it going to be like another rivalry of like I don't know Spencer and Forrester with those two? Like that's what I'm curious about. What
I,
kind of
I would
conflict can I get into?
I would rather him have been at Spencer Publications and us to kind of like does everything have to take place at Forrester? I'm exhausted with Forrester Creations. Like, can we have something going on at Spencer? Like, can
With
we
the
have
show, thank you.
a little contrast? Like, can we have that? Like, can we like okay, Spencer Liam didn't do much, but maybe something can happen at Spencer Publications. Like, okay, there was a time in B&B. This is when Sally was brought on. The Sally Spectre's now on. When she was brought on, they brought her in with a barrage of other characters. There was Coco, there was her Aunt Shirley, there was Paul. Like, they brought in a barrage of characters with her for Spectre Fashions, and I loved it because it woke up B&B, gave us something else, and I feel like B&B needs to have an opposing world. Everything does not have to take place at Forrester Creations. It is so tired. We need some contrast. And granted, Justin is back, but it would be nice to just see some kind of storyline go on Spencer Publications. That okay, maybe you can bring a Forrester in or two, but can we? I just want something different. I just not too much to ask.
Okay.
Because I would have preferred to see him in that light, but I guess they tried it with Liam and Wyatt. But I want to see RJ have a purpose. What is his storyline? Is he a drug addict? Is he figuring out sexuality? What is his story? I feel like I should have thought that from the moment he came on the screen, because I feel like if not, he's going to turn into a Noah Newman. But one of the reasons why I do not think he would turn into a Noah Newman is because of who he is, who his father is in real life. So we know he's not going to turn into another Noah Newman. He's going to be on the show for a minute. They're going to do right by this man. But I want to see some kind of alluding to a storyline. You know, I don't want him versus RJ. It's so him and RJ are actually cousins. I want
They
him to
are.
do something else. Yeah, they're cousins because of Katie and Brooke.
Um, you're right. You're right. You're right. Have a good night, Kristen. You're right.
So I would prefer something different, you know, like, and honestly too, with this, I guess this new young crowd, maybe we can have a friendship. Can he be friends with maybe Zende? I don't know. Can we do something a little bit different than what we've always been doing? I just want something. I just want something like even when Justin, when he had taken, I think you watched that too, when he had taken Bill hostage or Liam hostage or one of them. Do you remember that time?
No.
Oh, you weren't watching for that. Okay, so I would have loved to have seen Justin take over Spencer Publications in almost like a coup d'etat. He took control of the company. We haven't had a storyline like that on soaps where someone takes control of the company for a long time because that was always a thing on soaps when the businesses like who was in control, and we don't do those storylines anymore. And I kind of miss that. And so for Will, I just want to see a thought out storyline in a sense. That's what I want to see. I have a question for you, but go ahead. What do you want to say for ask question?
Johnson says, well, it's a Spencer and a Logan.
Logan.
Um, and that comes for you.
DC, last time no one was good was when Robert Adamson played in the role. Would you agree? No, absolutely not. I think no, no. I would definitely not agree that Robert Adamson was all the Noahs were just so generic. I don't even know how to explain it. I was hoping with Rory we were gonna get something different with him, but we did not. They were all pretty generic. Robert Addison was even more like he was great in Lincoln Heights, ABC Family, and all that stuff. But as Noah, it was very bland, very very bland.
I remember that show. I didn't actually watch it, but I remember hearing about that show, though, Lincoln Heights.
Lincoln Heights, very bland though, very bland. But okay, the question I wanted to ask you, gosh, what was it? It was a B&B question. What that question? I had it. Hold on, trying to remember.
It felt like it might have been a B&B question because we were talking about B&B.
Yeah, it was a B&B question. I was gonna ask. Oh, what do you think about Taylor heart condition, the possibility of her dying? What do you think about that?
I feel that they're going to somehow pull a Eric at the last minute. They're going to be like, oh, we have some new drug or whatever, we have some new trial or whatever, and they're going to bring her back. Because here's my whole thing. Other scenarios bad, in a sense. You bring her back just to kill her off. There's no point in that. And, for the Taylor fans, it's like, damn, you bring back our character and a different actor again, and we kind of like the other actors, but okay, fine. But now you're gonna sit there and kill her off. That's messed up. But then it's like if you don't kill her off, then it's like we're doing Eric Forster all over again. Like, what's the point of that? So like, I have an issue with that, and I feel like that is most likely gonna wind up happening, unfortunately.
I think you're right now that you mention it because it just she hasn't been Taylor a long time enough for like Rebecca Budig is a well-known soap actress, so she's got the chops, but she hasn't been the role of Taylor long enough for this death to feel impactful for us. And like if it was Hunter Tylo, the original Taylor in this role, I would actually believe, yo, I think they're about to do it. Because then like we're getting all these flashbacks, all these memories, but this is a brand new Taylor yet again. Um, I like Rebecca Budig though as Taylor. I do. I love her as Taylor. I absolutely love her as Taylor. Absolutely. She's doing a great job. She's doing a great job as Taylor. I gotta give her that. But to kill her off, fans don't know. She has no history as Taylor. Even with Krista, I think it was Krista Allen, whatever, the last Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
If she was in this Taylor role, we could accept it because then that means she would have been Taylor for at least over a year and a half or some time at least. But she just became Taylor yesterday, Rebecca Budig. So it was just like, okay, like it's not as it's hard to buy that they would just kill her. And Eric, all that stuff about Eric and Granddad, him not dying, I really hate that BB did that because honestly, I really thought they were gonna kill Eric off, and that would have been made for better storyline because Eric, Eric is a legendary character, but he's also useless at the same time. It's crazy how that works. How you can be legendary but useless at the same time. You know, it was like Stuart Chandler in All My Children. He was useless, and they killed him off for the quickness. You know, I don't know. Remember, like ABC Daytime had that promo, a legendary character will die. And it's like, it was such a tease because you saw Erica and then Adam Chandler in the promo, but no one suspected Stewart because Stewart's a useless character, you know? And technically, David Canary was never going to leave the show because David Canary played both roles, which I
Yeah.
love when soaps used to do that. So that way you could actually kill off a character and make story. But that's what I want to see with this. And then Lee and Taylor with this friendship. Oh, Lee disgusts me so much. She's such an elitist. She's such an elitist. I cannot stand that
I
about
never
Lee.
thought. I never actually thought of it that way. I mean, I didn't. Not so much the elitist part, but even the whole. She had a lot of concern for her, but like when Poppy came to town, when Luna decided to work for Forrester Creations, she was not there trashing her, and to say, "Well, you can't work there," and I don't want you to sit there and mess up Finn and his good life with his rich wife and his rich family. So yes, I do totally get that. Happy night, Law B.
Not Lord
I
B.
totally do. I totally do get that part.
I feel like
Um,
with Lee, that's what she cares about is status and prestige. I can tell like she's that type of person. I'm now picking up on that because the way she looks at her family who doesn't have those things. And the way she looks down. And see, that's the thing with Stephanie Forrester. Stephanie Forrester never looked down on people, besides Brooke. Brooke was the only person she looked down on, but she didn't look down on anybody. Stephanie Forrester was a very different type of woman, but Lee just all that concern for Taylor. I was like, wow, that people like that. I stay away from them. People like that, I would stay away from somebody like Lee in real life because. And the thing is, the problem is the people in Lee's circle would never notice that about her. They will never notice that she's an elitist because her care and concern is actually benefiting them. So they can't even notice that. You know? Kaiwan says, "Hey DC, did you see Monster was pretty good? Nicholas Shaw is totally becoming the best actor in America right now." I actually am thinking about seeing it, but I feel very weird about true crime stories. I don't have nightmares, but I'm thinking about it. It was giving very guiding light vibes and the dark kind.
it's kind of a stretch. The best actor in America. I don't know about all of that.
Is that because how you feel about him as an actor personally?
No, just because I don't think he's the best actor in America.
Yeah, people do put him on this pedestal, but I'm like, I didn't really see that best acting chops we were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna let.
Speaking of Eric, we're going to talk about Eric. Speaking of Eric, speaking of Eric, do you like how they're handling this reveal with this past deal coming out to Ali? All right, and like speaking of Eric, we actually never talked about Eric at all. So okay, I'll answer you, Ed. With Eric, I actually like it, but it's just Nicole needs to be here. It's just very weird that she's not here in this storyline. Nicole should be here, but I like that they're finally bringing this out because sometimes in soaps you wonder what do the characters know because it hasn't been established yet. But maybe that was done on purpose. I was like, I know DC.
But DC, you had to sit there and ask. You want to sit there and ask me a question, so I'm gonna let this be. After that, let you get the last word on what are your final thoughts.
Okay, well, what was the question? We're talking about B&B, and then
You got
behind
going
Nick.
off on Nicholas Chavez thing.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you because you said I don't think he's the best actor. So then, who do you think is the best actor or actress on the soaps right now?
I don't know. I'm not going to say he's not a good actor. Okay, I'm not going to sit there and take credit away, but to sit there and say he's the best actor in America, like even if I didn't feel the way I felt about him, I still wouldn't put him on you know, that grandiose pedestal.
But who steals the scenes? Who steal like who? Which soap character played by the soap actor actress steals the scene for you whenever they walk in to the scene? When you walk right
Can't
into the room, who steals that for you?
say. I really can't sit there and say. What do you think?
Hmm.
One
Let's
person, I
see.
feel like there's just so many that I can just like. I feel like a lot of people do kind of like put out their best sometimes. Some people are better than others, but kind of a hard choice.
I think acting style and ranges. I think I have to say I think GH actually has the best with that. Gaze is just very cartoonish, so I haven't seen the depth yet there. And they play the same things over and over again. B&B is super dramatic, and if you're not careful, you would think that B&B has good acting, but it's just very dramatic. That's really what it is. So you gotta be, guys gotta be careful about that. It's very dramatic, but it's not just a good acting. Good acting is when you can play to the small subtleties, those small nuances. That's a new word, nuance. It's all
What about
nuance.
YNR? What about YNR?
YNR, I feel that on YNR, yeah, no. Because on YNR is very bland. It's very, I'm here to collect my check, especially with Nick. Like, Nick was staying at the back of that coffee shop for a minute. Sharon was in the front, and then Nick was in the back. He was there to collect their checks. And we showed up all set today. That's what it was giving for the longest time. But GH has the best because they put their people to work on GH. You get put to work on GH. It was a little weird that Gio was all of a sudden telling Ned, don't talk to her like that. Don't talk to Lois like that. I'm like, where did it even come from? Like, but on GH, I have to say, so I want to identify that show. I think the best that I've seen, Porsha is one of them. I really believe she is a female dog. When I watch her on the screen, I really don't like Porsha, and so she really makes me believe that. Lindsay Hartley, our new Sam. That's another one. That's another one. Yeah, she is our new Sam. New Sam. Woo! But Lindsay Hartley, Michael, um, Kate Mancy's killing it in the role right now. TJ, like everyone is so good on GH, and I have to give them that. Like even Alexis, Alexis, like I feel her struggles that she's in between her daughters. Like you felt that. You felt these frustrations that these characters are dealing with. Um, Not so much Jocelyn or Dex. I wouldn't say them, nor Gia. I wouldn't give them that credit. Carly, of course. Who else? There's probably a bit more, but I would say that for right about now, I'd say that. Right about now, I'd say that. But they have the best.
And what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are, let's see. I really want
Oh,
the Sosa to. Oh, go ahead.
Johnson said, "Who's the best actor on Days?" And then you can give your final thoughts.
Okay, so best actor on Days. Ooh, who is a best actor on Days? Tate is actually one of them for me. Tate is one of them. Um, who else on Days?
I like Xander. I think he's actually doing pretty good.
It's become very one note with Xander for me, so it's been very hard for me to connect to that part with Xander. Um, who else would I say right now on Days? I feel like a lot of people there are really terrible right now, and I think it's just the writing. I'll be honest with you. I think a lot of it is terrible. Um, Stefan, I think is pretty good. Stefan, I think is pretty good, and damn, I feel like that about sums it up. They just haven't given me any meat. I mean, they have good actors. It's just there hasn't been any meat lately that I've been able to hold. Oh, Billy Flynn. Billy Flynn. When he gave that speech, fake Abigail. Albert, come on. We were all falling in love. You were probably falling in love too. We were all falling in love that day.
Bro, it's like 6:30 in the morning. I felt like it was a little bit too much.
I
Um,
was falling in love that day. We were all like that speech. I was like, oh my God, he really said that. That's a good man. But yes, Billy Flynn. Billy the Flynn's another one.
okay. So what's your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are I want the soaps to do more storylines that will push us out of our comfort zones. I really want to see more of that. Um, to be honest, I would have liked if they had actually made Zende. Okay, never mind. But I would like the soaps to have pushed us. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I would have liked it actually if they would have actually made Zende go through a whole accusation process with Luna. Let me explain why I said that. That sounds spicy. Let me explain why I said that, guys. It's real spicy for today. Because one, it would give Zende something to do. Two, just like how we were so mad at when this first happened, what did that do? That elicited emotion in us. We need that on soaps. And I'm gonna explain. I don't want just things for the shock value, but I want That would have been a good storyline for Zende to actually go through it, and then Zende to even go through a part of the Force was like, you know what? Like, you guys don't understand. Look at you guys. You're all white, I'm black. That would have been a great time to explore these dynamics and what he actually feels being the only black Forester. You see what I'm saying, guys? That could have been a time for us to explore that. But y'all don't. Not that you guys don't want good storylines, but I'm just saying, like, that would have been a time to explore that. That could have been that moment. And it could have stirred up. Soaps need controversy, good controversy, not just controversy for controversy's sake, but good controversy. It stirs things up. Like, I'm so shocked that As World Turns never got a censor for saying the F word on TV. They got away with that, but low-key, I think it's because no one's watching As World Turns. I know it's today. Go ahead.
Whoever says, when Gio raised his voice to Ned under his roof, Albert, don't you think it's time for all the guests at the Q's mansion to go home now? Weekend at Brooke's wedding. Weeks after Brooke's wedding. Okay, first of all, I don't think that he actually raised his voice. And I think that Jill was out of pocket because, like, Lois was out of pocket for sitting there saying that, that Ned should, let bygones be bygones after everything that Sonny did. So, in all reality, Lois was out of pocket. I'm like, Jill, why don't you go and practice somewhere? Go stay in your room or whatever. Stay in your damn lane. Let grown folks talk. I don't want to sit there and say it was raising his voice. It was just more like, you're doing too much and you don't really understand the situation. You came in there half baked, not understanding the full, and also he doesn't really know a lot of the bad stuff that Sonny did. So it's like, again, stay in your damn lane.
That's his uncle, though.
Yeah. Uncle Sonny.
Albert.
My last thoughts was that this was fun tonight. This is fun. Yeah, we got a lot of talk out of it. This is good.
Yeah, this is a fun last one.
And yeah, if you didn't check out, like I said, now I'm trying to do just kind of reiterate. I'm trying to do a new review style when I combine the soaps instead of just doing 2 soap operas because I like to do all 4 of them, but trying to do all 4 of them sometimes is full time and you don't actually have actual full time to do it. It makes it a little more difficult. But I do also put the timestamps in the description box below when one starts and one ends or whatever, so this way you know. So yeah, check it out. Let me know what your thoughts are about that. But DC, I do want to thank you for joining tonight. It's a lot of fun. Appreciate you always.
Okay.
What was you gonna say?
I was gonna say also, guys, because I never do this. Check out my channel, DC Soap Sanctuary, because I'm over here on Newman Enterprises. I'm over here at Gosad. I need to build myself up.
Yes, absolutely. Seriously, no. Check out DC. I think also you didn't really sit there and kind of talk about your channel because you haven't really been uploading stuff in a while, too. So
I uploaded today. So guys, check out DC Soap Sanctuary. It's giving Gosad, and I'm here on Newman Enterprises today.
And Ed did actually see your video. Yeah, no, definitely check out DC always. Check out DC. He does great videos and stuff like that. Great character analysis and stuff. So definitely check out his video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. And I will leave a link to his latest video in my description box when I do my post for tonight. So definitely check out the post.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
members only post?
Huh?
Is it members only?
No, this is a regular post. This is a regular post for everyone. So yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Definitely check out the
count go up.
Definitely check out the post and subscribe and watch his latest video.
He's the Victor Newman to my Gosad.
And as and of course DC's never going to admit it, but we all have a little bit of Victor Newman in ourselves. We all do.
I'm a Jack Abbott. He can speak for himself, guys. I'm a Jack Abbott at heart.
But he's also have said in the same video, in the same live stream, that he's had his, what'd you call it? Thomas Forster moment.
Thomas Forster, not Victor Newman, because Thomas Forster is a good man.
Yeah, I'll let y'all actually sit there and think about that for a half minute. But anyway, I want to thank you all for joining. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate every single one of y'all, and I will see y'all in the next video. live stream. And again, check out DC's channel. It will be a link to his latest video in my um, post for tonight. So I will see y'all in the next video and live stream. Later.